Oh,
That's how I look.
I hope I don't look like that in real life.
Oh man.
No, dead ass. I really hope I don't look like that in real life.
Look on camera, ain't never really how you look in real life, man.
Man, thank God.
You don't never work out that way.
Because like right now, I'm just like, is this the lighting or is just the side of my face is dark?
It is a light because we got these big ass floor to 300-foot ceiling windows right here, and it's letting in all kind of sun. But what are you supposed to shoot, man? How you been living, though, dog? Last couple of weeks, man, we ain't been able to check in with them. Not sure, I know I've been overwhelmed and out of town and shit.
Oh yeah, you always busy. Maybe I should move this lamp. There ain't no outlet. Well, I ain't gonna stretch that far.
Good morning, stage mom.
Notification squad. Hey, how y'all doing? No, I've been straight these past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I ain't been having no drama in my life.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
My Pluto's about to be in my ascendant. Pluto's about to be in my ascendant. Well, Pluto about to be in Capricorn. Yeah. So I'm going through this like little transformation, like body-wise, face-wise, and I've been trying to do more, like working out and shit. Oh shit, I can sit all the way back. Look at. I look like a fat nigga.
Yeah.
Y'all look at Ian.
I've been good too, man. Like this show I'm on, it's been crazy because I'm forming in the show. It's Insatiable. It's a show on it's a Netflix show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of wild, man. I actually enjoy it. I mean, the show is kind of crazy in its own right, but there's just been some leadership challenges there, man. I had to kind of dig in. I've had to dig deep, and really kind of remind myself of who I am as a person and leader. Because it's a heck of a team. But we got it all straight this last week. So,
will we get sued if you spill some tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. We get sued, and I get kicked off the show.
Do they so do you know how the show ends?
They haven't written the ending yet.
Okay, but you know how it's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They typically what they'll do is come out with scripts. I mean, we're shooting episode 1 now. They're just on episode 4 in terms of the writing. You know what I mean? So they generally don't have the whole thing. Not for a lot of shows. For something like Game of Thrones, they got that whole thing written out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just it's too big of a production. But for most of the shows you see on TV, they're shooting episode 1 when they're only as far as episodes. They're only like a couple of episodes here. And the writing team will generally have the general direction of where they want to go. But some of this stuff you see on TV, if it look like they're making it up as they go, it's because they are.
How to Get Away with Murder. They made that shit up as they went after that.
Right.
I'm still dark. Fuck. It's still dark on this side. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Good morning to everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. It's Sunday.
He works on Insatiable, Anisha. All right. So we're here for the Tell It Like It Is podcast. We will be giving psychic readings to those of you all that donate via the super chat. You can get a private psychic reading. We're gonna be talking about R. Kelly and Gayle King. And we're also going to be doing another psychic reading on R. Kelly and Gayle King. Well, I already did a R. Kelly reading, but then like the Gayle King interview came out this week. And in that reading, I was like, I'm sitting here like, yeah, he's like, why y'all picking on me? And then the next week comes out, why y'all doing? I'm R. Kelly, man. And so what y'all think about R. Kelly? Do y'all think that he's guilty or do y'all think he's not guilty?
Dude, a question for you and for them. Did y'all see the meme that said, if R. Kelly had been sitting there with Ayanla, she'd have been sitting there, she'd have squared up on him, saying, oh no, you're not going to stand up on me, beloved.
Bro, that's exactly what she would have done. Like, no, you finna sit. No, that's exactly how
she's not going to stand up on me, beloved.
Guilty as hell, electric chair. He's guilty. Guilty.
Wow. She said electric chair.
Y'all think that was R. Kelly in that video? Do y'all think that was R. Kelly in the video? And do y'all think he really married Aaliyah? Do y'all think he brainwashed those girls? So when those girls are on there, one of the girls was like, no.
She said, I would love what I Bro. Guilty of what? What do y'all think he's guilty of?
Yeah. What do y'all think R. Kelly's guilty of? Exactly.
What exactly is he guilty of?
And those girls were so, like, you could tell that they had been fed lines. Like, you could tell they knew what to say.
Yeah.
They knew exactly what to say. They knew how to say right on target with all their answers. I'm happy. My family knows I'm happy. Okay? I already told them. They just keep calling me and they acting like they don't know what's up. They know what's up. I'm good. And it's like, so nothing's going on there. Nothing. Gayle, you wouldn't want me to, you as a woman, for you to ask me that? I was like, wow, like y'all were PR trained. I don't know if R. Kelly did it, the lawyers did it.
I mean, well, I think as just like with the Jussie Smollett issue that we were talking about, there's like, and anytime there's something like this, especially involving a public personality, you best believe there are always so many different sides to this shit, and everybody involved, it's almost like you got to be prepared for everybody to be full of shit to a degree. You know what I mean? And so it's like R. Kelly, at the end of the day, there would be none of this stuff if he wasn't messing with girls who are underage. No matter what anybody says about their parents, a lot of their parents, I was watching the larger the larger documentary about the whole thing surviving R. Kelly. And yeah, some of them parents did seem full of shit. You know? But at the same time, you can only blame the parents so much.
I'm listening. Keep going. I'm sorry, man.
You can only blame the parents so much because, you know, he as a grown-ass man, if he wasn't doing this stuff, there would be nothing to be manipulated. So, you know, it's complex and it's ugly, and I think it's going to get uglier before it gets prettier.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right. So we have Flor Estevale says, I think it's a conspiracy against Black men. Okay, well, let's take a vote. Do you think that R. Kelly is a victim of the United States government conspiring against Black men? Hit the skull emoji if you do.
She just said no.
First they shoot them for no reason. Now they accuse them. Do y'all agree with that? Anyway, man.
Here's my thing about that. When it comes to Black men and all of the, Black men are always in the discussion, in kind of the overall discussion about the ways that we as Black people are being conspired against. I just feel like there's so many other more nefarious ways to conspire against Black men than attacking someone like R. Kelly. You know, it's like I don't even see him as a representative of me, of you, of any of the Black men that I know. Who would he be worth conspiring against? But as one of the viewers said, you know, that plays a part. I mean, and so maybe conspiracy is not the right word. Maybe, you know, there's in general, there's always kind of been a villainization, kind of a witch hunt for Black men, and so maybe that plays a part. He definitely ain't getting the same treatment that some of these other folks who are popping up into the media as a result of the whole Me Too movement are getting. We do know that much, but in terms of what he's done and his ability to take responsibility for it, you know, that's all in his hands. And I think a lot of brothers, that's something that a lot of brothers don't want to hear, is that our ability to take responsibility for a lot of the things we do is in our hands. And so we can't really put anybody's response to that, you know, on anybody else.
Yeah, I definitely think that when you posture R. Kelly as like the representation of like positive Black masculinity, I never could imagine. Like, I really think that you should think about ask yourself, would you want to raise your black son, your black man's son, to be like R. Kelly? And don't you think that there are much more valuable targets to conspire against with sexual abuse allegations? Barack Obama, for example, first black president. I mean, that'd be a great takedown, you know?
It would.
You know, there are many respectable African-American men that are leaders, you know what I'm saying, that you could have attempted to tack those charges onto. But it seems that people really think that entertainers are, I think people value entertainment so much, and they value the art so much, that they conflate it with the actual artists, and they're like, you know, I can't believe they're taking down this great institution, this great person. And it's like, bitch, you danced to this song in the club. This person hasn't, how do I say this? Created a socially meaningful impact in the world to where like you want to raise your children to be like that. So I think that you all should question yourselves.
I mean, this is like R. Kelly we're talking about. It's not Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? Or like, not even Luther Vandross or somebody. Like, this is, Yeah,
like imagine this happening to Stevie Wonder. Then it would be a conspiracy.
Look, if some folks come out and say Stevie took advantage of them, you know what I mean? You best believe, like all bets are off. That's absolutely a conspiracy, because if you let a blind man sneak attack you, then who's really the fool there? But
yeah, and I think
I gave y'all 30 years of my career, and Stevie Wonder he's giving like 50.
Then I think also the fish rots from the head. So I saw someone post, yeah, but I blame the parents too. Well, I think you have to remember that this is an organized sex ring. So there's not just R. Kelly involved in this, it's everyone else as well. Because when you think about it, the thing is, I feel like when I see people say fucked up shit about the R. Kelly situation, I see them as the people that are like passive perpetrators of sexual abuse. Because I'm wondering to myself, what goes on in the mind of someone that has been around R. Kelly, has seen him with these young women, and you don't do anything about it.
You don't do anything about it.
Well, that's also the person that says, what about the parents? Where were the parents?
Where were the parents?
That's all they focused on, is where are the parents, rather than actually doing something about it. So the people that usually are only focused on, and I'm not saying that you can't be focused on R. Kelly and the parents. Like I said, it's an organized sex ring. So I think that the investigation should be much wider than R. Kelly. This is what I'm saying.
Damn.
But for those people that aren't thinking about this in a holistic way, you all are I typically think, I'm like, okay, your brain is filled with so many thoughts that if you think to blame the victim, I also think that you will be one of the people that wouldn't say anything in the moment.
That would help the victimization, that would help victimize somebody.
Help victimize someone by not doing anything. But then saying something about it in the documentary 10 years later.
Right.
That's you. That's you. That's who you are. That's how it happens. Because you're wondering, like, if all this is going on, why didn't anybody say anything? Because y'all were wondering, where are the parents? And y'all didn't say anything.
And y'all were saying, well, shoot, if their parents had intervened, then, they wouldn't even be here.
Exactly.
Now Kelly got her locked in the chamber, but, she didn't drive herself here, so.
But no, that is a good question. What about the parents? But then also, what about R. Kelly's henchmen? I mean, because it's not just him. And what about the other entertainers that he's friends with that were also having sex with those women? Come on, it wasn't just R. Kelly.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't just R. Kelly. And I think it's just, I think we have to use we're going to use our common sense about a lot of shit. It's like, it's not just R. Kelly. He wasn't the only male entertainer having sex with these women. That he's well connected to other male and female artists. And his wife, Andrea Kelly, she's a liar. I'm sorry. I've got to bring this up. Do y'all believe Andrea Kelly, who married R. Kelly, didn't know anything about any of this? And they was married for 13 years. She said she said she did not know. Y'all think she knew? Y'all think she knew?
She had to know something.
it's just like he loved older women and younger women. And I'm just wondering to myself, if you knew that he was cheating on you and you were on this show, Hollywood Exes, and you're talking about the pain that you experienced from the infidelities, how did you know that he wasn't cheating with older women and younger women?
Right.
Like you couldn't have not have known. And in addition to that, how do you marry someone and it's like somewhere when you were showering, it should have hit you. Like, damn, like 3 years. I've been married for 3 years. Like, and you watching your clit, and you like, damn, like he married Aaliyah. Like, it should have just hit you at some point.
Right.
That like you're with a pedophile. But what do you all think? You all think she knew?
I like this response. She still has her name, Drea Kelly. What for?
That's true.
You know, I mean, that's the other side of this that makes all of the contributors to it just seem like they're full of shit. Because anytime you put a camera, anytime there's a camera involved, you know, everyone is so eager to hop in front of it and have something to say that was close to it. You know, that they all seem opportunistic in a way. And R. Kelly's problem, man, is that he can't. When it comes to this kind of thing, you can't be straddling the fence when it comes to condemning the victimization of young women. You can't, as a man, you can't be on the fence about where you stand. R. Kelly's problem is that he sits in interviews with people like Touré Roberts, and when they ask him straight up questions like, "Are you attracted to teenagers?"
You don't like Touré?
He gives answers like, "But how old we talking?" You know, and so that's R. Kelly's problem. And so at the end of the day, he's still got the shovel in his hand. If he want to get out this hole, he's got to stop digging it. She need to be in jail too. She and a few other people.
He said that was Touré Roberts who interviewed him.
Uh-huh.
I like Touré, and see, Touré is a nice Virgo man, and it's like Touré is one of those guys that I don't know him, and I would like to, but I feel like he's one of those guys that would sit down with R. Kelly.
You know, he went to Emory.
He went to Emory?
He didn't go to Emory with us, but he's an Emory alum.
Touré that's married to Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's
Sarah Jakes, hit me up for a psychic reading. I love your shit. I was going to go to the Wild Woman tour out in Atlanta. If you watch this, please, y'all tag Sarah Jakes, hit her up, tell her to hit me up. But no, Touré Roberts strikes me as the sort of guy that would sit down with R. Kelly and try, and because he loves God so much, and he believes that he loves God so much that he's going to have a sanitized interpretation of what R. Kelly was saying, but at the same time, like, also know, like, he probably wouldn't fuck with R. Kelly like that. But it would, being that R. Kelly would sit down with someone who's not going to criticize at best or terrorize at worst the things that he says, it leaves R. Kelly thinking that he's okay, that he sat in front of a spiritual leader who didn't judge him for his preferences, because like his brother said, people got preferences. I like older women. He like younger women. You know, dark-skinned, light-skinned. I like older women and younger women. I've been completely appalled at the lack of accountability that R. Kelly doesn't seem to possess, and he also has a lot of limited self-awareness. His interview was crafted. His performance was crafted so sophisticatedly that if there weren't hard evidence against him, I probably would believe him. That if there were no tape and there had been no documentary and he didn't marry Aaliyah, I probably would have felt terrible for him in that moment. But the thing, but I'll say this. When a man is guilty of some sex crime shit, that motherfucker, he gonna start crying within the first 15 minutes. Because here's the thing. Michael Cohen asked 2 weeks ago when the Senate was questioning him, and he said straight up, I'm going to jail. I'm not gonna see my family. He ain't shed no motherfucking tear. But R. Kelly, I can't believe y'all doing this to me. And he ain't even on the Senate floor. Brett Kavanaugh started crying. 30 minutes into it, can't even sit there. So yeah, that's all I got to say.
I think the most interesting response I've seen from people, from just regular folks in relation to this, have been women who have said things like, yeah, well, these women, these girls should have been held. You know, they knew what they were doing. A couple of girls I went to high school, a couple of women I went to high school with pointed out the fact that they were sophomores or juniors in high school, dating fellas in college, thinking they were the shit because, you know, I mean, they fellas would come pick them up in cars. You know, one of my homegirls was like, you know, yeah, I had my dude buy me a car. I was in high school, but I was the one who was actually pulling the strings. And so that's also been an interesting response from some women that I've heard. You know, is at 16, 17, you knew what you were doing. What took my mind there is that somebody asked about if some of the other celebrities were doing this, like Jay-Z, you know, and I think that just the way the entourage culture is, entourage lifestyle, I think that it's highly inconceivable that if he had young, willing girls around, that other people, that other fellas did not partake, you know, because I think the general, it's kind of like this unwritten thing between, you know, girls that we like to call fast and fellas that will like actually take advantage of them, that shit is okay, you know? And so, yeah, I think that's what's been mind blowing to me is this whole, well, you know, when I was 16, 17, I knew exactly what I was doing when I was getting with that grown nigga, as if he didn't also know what he was doing.
So people, I see sometimes the other thing, what I'm saying here is that people are putting out facts about R. Kelly, that he was molested. They're also putting out the facts that he can't read. They're putting out facts that he may not truly understand what he's doing. But I also want to ask you a question. Do you think R. Kelly has health insurance? I believe I can lie. I believe I scream and cry.
Oh, oh my God, y'all are lit this morning.
Tell them, Q. No, they're putting out. But do you think R. Kelly has health insurance?
I mean, he's got to have some kind of health insurance.
You think he's caught STDs before?
I don't know if he's caught STDs before. I mean, I don't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
His accuser said they passed.
Right. His accuser, one of the accusers said she got something from him. You know what I mean? And so, if he's got health insurance, man, he should probably try to see if he can qualify for some counseling or some shit.
Exactly.
You know exactly. So he should see if he can actually just get some mental help, because it seems like there's just some real screwed up things going on there. And when you hear the women talk about some of the things that were done to him, you know, I think there is a correlation sometimes between like crazy people being the freakiest people, you know what I'm saying? And I know that in my own history, yeah, my craziest partners have been the wildest one, you know, the wildest one. And that's kind of like how you can mess around and get sucked in, no pun intended. But like, I think there is some merit to him needing to really get his health in order before he goes on camera ever again, you know, before he says or does anything else in the public eye.
Well, it's a fact that in the United States, mental health issues are stigmatized. It's a fact that in the Black community, mental health issues are extremely stigmatized. However, R. Kelly lives a lifestyle that's completely American that most Americans don't live. How do we entertain the idea that of him having extreme amounts of access to counseling services that many people never would have access to? How do we how do we deal with that fact?
I mean, it means that he really has no excuse. You know, that's what it means. That he really has no excuse. His past, the facts that came out about his past and his own history of abuse do not in any way excuse his behavior now as a grown man, because I think that's what it means, is that his access gives him no excuse to pass on his hurt to other people, you know? And I just saw someone say, what about the girls who want to stay and make the others look like liars? That's another thought I had in watching the documentary, is that like for some of those girls, if all they got to do is kind of lay up in there, all their basic needs are taken care of. They don't really have to think about much. They just got to be nasty on command. I mean, I think that might work for some people. I just think it's unfortunate that the women who do speak out, I think it's unfortunate that the ones who are willing to stay, whether they're being coached or whether they are also just suffering from some type of mental illness or some emotional imbalance, I think it's unfortunate that they can be used in such a way to discredit the ones who do point out the problematic behavior, because it's problematic. You know what I mean? And just because some want to stay doesn't change the nature of his behavior.
I would say that someone that has mental health issues like R. Kelly, you have to remember that mental health issues are a disease, and diseases are contagious. For a woman to want to stay with R. Kelly and discredit other women that are telling telling the truth about their experiences with R. Kelly, those women that are trying to discredit those other women are suffering from Stockholm syndrome. They've contracted that disease, but the fish rots from the head. That's how an organized sex ring has to work. That's the only way that it can work. Is for some people to stay hypnotized into that culture. I mean, so it's like, well, what else can I say? I mean, a brainwashed person is discrediting someone that's trying to seek out their healing. That brainwashed person hasn't decided to go on the journey to being unbrainwashed or well, whatever fucking word I'm looking for. The point is, I think we all have to think a lot deeper about this problem going on with R. Kelly. And I think when we look at victims attacking other victims, we have to remember that there's a triangulation here, that you have two parties fighting against one another, and you have a third party that's completely invisible right now, that we are not paying any attention to, that's puppeteering everything from the shadows, because the fish rots from the head.
Oh yeah. So I'm with it, man. You got enough space to do them cars, to bust them cars?
Yep. Got it. All right. We're back with our celebrity psychic readings. And Ian is going to be giving me the questions to read about today. And we're going to be reading using this deck called the New World Tarot. It's a queer progressive LGBT color conscious race intersectionality based tarot deck. Okay, it's got like gay people in it, fat white women, ashy niggas, black nerds and shit are all up in it. Okay, all right, so yeah.
God knows we need to ask you represent.
Yeah, man, like I'll look at some hippies and shit. All right. Yeah, so
all right.
What questions y'all got? What you got?
So first off, I one of the questions I have is, will R. Kelly ultimately reconcile himself? Will he reconcile with himself? Will he find some type of, peace with this?
Okay.
Or is he gonna be Bill Cosby's age? You know what I mean? doing beats.
We got to give a few minutes to Michael Jackson. Have you heard about the shit that's
between Oprah and Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in it?
I believe that's, and so now the questions about black conspiracies against black men, where I don't feel like they'd be relevant for R. Kelly, for someone with Michael Jackson's influence, not just musically, but even entrepreneurially, what he was doing in terms of, buying the rights to people's music. I do believe the argument about there being a conspiracy against him has more merit. But at the same time, there's also the issue that, Michael Jackson, I believe I saw an interview with him and this other boy where the boy was like, he was just answering the questions. He was like, we played in Michael Jackson's bed. So Michael Jackson was trying to, it was like, you can see Michael Jackson just panicked, the big old eyes just lit up, and he was like, he was trying to play damage control in the interview, like, no, not in the bed, but in the room. And so I think there's some problematic stuff there too. But I think that I think there's some key differences between his case and R. Kelly's case.
If my child was able to identify a mole or a scar in a grown man's private areas, I don't give a fuck what other evidence is going on. It's like, how the fuck
would he know that?
Do you know this? How the fuck? And it's like that fact right there is what is because I'm like, I know that some of the other label executives would pay people to put out negative stories about Michael Jackson. So it was like, that people are conspiring against him. But how the fuck were they able to identify things on his body that that's my main question.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm still sitting like, bruh. And I've been sitting with that for years, where I'm like, I don't listen to Michael Jackson music, but that fact has never really been dissected for me.
I mean, yeah, there's no way to really explain that away. And so that's what's different about the Michael Jackson thing to me. The other thing that sticks out to me about the Michael Jackson story in comparison to R. Kelly is that when a lot of the information has been coming out about these elite pedophile rings and just the status and the influence that the people who are members have, R. Kelly ain't really got that kind of status. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mr., I hear you calling, like, he don't have that kind of influence. Michael Jackson does, though. And Michael Jackson did, right? And he did enjoy that same type of elite ability to insulate himself and his activities from the public in ways that, R. Kelly's black ass couldn't, man. R. Kelly's a nigga at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what's different about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly is that he actually was a big enough icon that it would make sense for him to be conspired against. B, he was actually also an elite enough personality that if he wanted to do any of this dirt, he very well could have, and he matched the profile. He matched the profile of those who are engaged in these types of things. But see, the evidence against him, I mean, and especially when it's little kids who themselves don't have anything to gain. Their parents may have, but when little kids don't know nothing but the truth, and so for them to come and, like you said, for anyone to be able to identify unique aspects of somebody's body,
Somebody said, you said in your MJ reading that he was innocent. First, let me address that. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm a priest. I'm not a fortune teller. I am a priest. The spirits can say that Michael Jackson is innocent of those charges. Point being, how is they still able to identify that mole? I didn't ask that. That ain't the question that I asked. Okay? I don't even remember that Michael Jackson reading because I don't remember my readings after I give them. But I don't do fortune telling. And at the same time, just because the spirits say something is true, I don't have to accept it as true. Because I give readings to myself. They tell me stuff all the time. They tell me to do shit. Do I do it? Hell no. Does everybody go out and exercise because they know that they need to exercise because exercise is good for them? No, they don't. So I still have fucking questions. Shit, I have a lot of goddamn questions. And a 1 hour psychic reading is not going to get me to the bottom of those answers of why was it that those little kids was able to identify something on his motherfucking body. Even if he didn't do anything to the kids, what the fuck did he show them? What did they see? Like, how did they know? Like, were they fed the information from somebody that fucked Michael Jackson? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So I have questions. All right, so R. Kelly, is he ever going to reconcile all of these things going on with him? Nigga, it's all money.
Dang. Cops and penalties. Oh.
All right. R. Kelly. Okay, so in R. Kelly's house of his greatest spiritual challenges, I see him in jail. I see him in jail, and I see the women around him. Some of those women really do care about him beyond like the spending that he gives to them. Like, he really nurtured them, and and those girls have a sisterhood with each other. R. Kelly, it's like when he's in jail, I think that he's gonna have a very passive aggressive experience of being in jail, and he's going to acknowledge some things that he did. He's going to acknowledge enough of it to where he can go back into society and not do the same types of girls. Because I see like he's going to get a sentence and he's going to be able to get out of jail at some point. But I see him being like an older man and him dating like girls in their 20s, but not doing the same thing. I don't see him really dipping beneath the 20s, but I see him still wrestling with, I still see him wrestling with his romantic interest. He has it's a sexual fetish. Like, the way they're showing it to me is like, it's literally a sexual fetish for a certain aesthetic of girl, like a certain bone structure, certain body type, certain height, certain vocal intonation, and even the mentality has to be kind of like, little girlish, and even when and don't let the girl get like 19, 20, and she still got a little girl mindset. She looks.
Then it's gonna be
it's a certain type of chick, but it's like him being away from women for so long is what's going to help him reconcile these feelings. Okay, so as the Nine of Pentacles indicates here in the house of his personal truth and answers. It's also about, I think R. Kelly, I think something's going to happen with his music where, where it's like protected or he gets all the rights or all the money to it. But I see him trying to set up a fund, like trying to set up money to support himself or something. It's like he's thinking about his money and shit. I'm going to explain all this in a second because I'm getting it. Because that point is not really connected. All right. The other thing is that R. Kelly, I think R. Kelly's going to end up in a wheelchair at some point in time in his life. But I see it being like R. Kelly has to be put in a position where he's physically unable to do some of the things that he's able to do, and then he goes back and tries to reconcile like what the fuck is going on. One card came out in reverse, my Six of Pentacles card. It's like it's that he cares a lot about his reputation and his legacy, but he thinks of it as just like the media. He doesn't know that if there was a national poll, like 70% of the United States, just arbitrary numbers, just 70% of the United States would not be fucking with him. He doesn't pay attention to that. R. Kelly's life is literally he wakes up, fucks, and then he's like, I'm on tour. I'm R. Kelly. He doesn't have to like there are still people. He goes to spaces. I'm seeing him in like Chicago, Winston-Salem, fucking Memphis, like small black cities that like they're still R&B-ish, and they still fuck with him. And so to him, what he sees in his everyday life, his star power hasn't been diminished, but his money being fucked up is what's pushing him to not even like really rethinking it, but more so like, how can I live my life a little bit more appropriately? Like, but he's gonna have to have everything taken away for him to like say that this ain't really what he want to do. Like, we got 118 people watching this. All right. I'm also seeing here, I feel like he's gonna get married to one of those girls before he goes to jail. Like, I see him getting married. It's just like even then, like, it's not gonna happen, man. I'm sorry, I gotta say this. It ain't happening, because the Ace of Pentacles, I see him going back to his base interest of just like, all right, young women. I'm real. It's not happening. Those. I really want to say that he has. There's really no going back for R. Kelly. Like, there's no, the things that he's dealing with. I don't even want to say it. It's karma. It's more of like this. The way that the spirits are showing it to me is, you're literally looking at the Great Wall of China, and you're trying to by brick break down the Great Wall of China. This man is going to die a pedophile. Yeah. There's no changing this. This is who he is. There's no fixing this. He's like a heroin addict. This isn't like he's addicted to marijuana. This is heroin addict. This is like he's going to watch Sesame Street and his dick gets hard, and he cannot help it.
And he can't do anything about it.
And he's gonna masturbate to it. He's gonna stop himself from trying to do it,
and that's going.
But then you got child pornography. It's going to be another outlet for him. It's not going to stop, because he's fed this beast for so long that this beast has been able to reproduce itself in other dimensions of his psyche. And when I was talking about the Nine of Pentacles, his self-sufficiency, why it's like, oh, he's just, it's like his mind is literally like, it takes one step. It'll break one brick, and then it's like, bitch, my money, where my money? Like, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like, you can literally have a conversation with him for 30 minutes and be like, man, you shouldn't do this. And he's like, man, you know what? I actually need to think about that. Man, shit, what my money? Shit, this is like, that's how he is. It's like he entertains it for a split second.
Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, but the other reason that makes sense is that when it comes to these women who actually have kind of wanted to stay and do like this, I remember after the special came on, I saw a video of him doing a show somewhere in a local spot, and there were women all over him, and they were like, yeah, go ahead, lock me away, baby, so and so and so. I think we can't even talk about R. Kelly without also, and R. Kelly's mental health, without also talking about the mental health of our Black women. You know, and the fact that there are a lot of Black women who are damaged, and so often damaged people will attract each other. And so it's like, I like your heroin metaphor, because it's like that show with that movie, the old Spike Lee movie, where Samuel Jackson played Gator, and Halle Berry played his love interest, and they were crackheads together. You know, it's like two addicts together. They've got that 1 + 1 = 3 effect on each other. As long as he's always got someone else who's also damaged, you know, as long as there is always someone else who's looking for a father figure to, you know, and seeking one out in someone, anyone, he who's also looking for a little girl, mentally and emotionally, is always going to find his fix. He's always going to find his fix. And so he would not only, some type of reconciliation, he would not only have to do, you know, without money and lose everything, but as you said, it's like he would have to, women in total and some would have to shun him. He would have to, that would be the only way he would wake up from it. Otherwise, his illness is just going to push him to seek out people who share it.
Someone said he gets a rise out of people who are damaged to feel normal. I don't agree with that. He's seeking out 12 to 15-year-old people. I don't think that those kids can damage. Those people from their testimonies, it seemed like they parents with some parents like that let them do that, you know, damage, cool. Yeah. But all teenagers are fucking damaged.
Yeah.
All of them are damaged. Right. All of them. So it's not about, no, we're not about to play this.
They're not adults. They're not adults.
It's not the same.
Adulthood and damage. They're people who are still putting together the fragments of themselves and still figuring all of that stuff out. Like they're not even whole people yet, you know. And so they are actually much easier to damage, you know. And if you know what I mean, I mean, you can damage them in ways that someone grown would not be damaged in a way like the meme said. Ayana would have been like, "Oh no, you're not gonna stand up on me, beloved." You know, and she herself is an adult who's damaged and has mastered ways to put herself back together, which is why she can put other people back together. He don't want that. He's not looking to people who are damaged and aware of how damaged they are. He's looking for people who are easy to damage, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all got any other questions about R. Kelly? You got any other?
Shoot, let's look at some of theirs.
All right, cool. Let's see what they were saying.
Well, since we brought MJ up, I see a lot of stuff about MJ.
Oh Lord. I mean, what could we ask about Michael Jackson?
I see someone saying that he that the kids got some of the stuff about it that tell you wrong. And like I said, and there's just lots of questions about that.
The kids got a lot of stuff wrong.
Well, yeah, like they said he was circumcised and he wasn't, you know, all of this stuff. And you know, but like I said, man, he's Michael Jackson was on a totally different level in terms of his influence and in terms of any money that stood to be made by alleging that Michael Jackson had done any of this. You know, R. Kelly, I mean, it's R. Kelly. They're only alike in the nature of the allegations against them. Otherwise, they're in two totally different leagues.
What does R. Kelly's ancestors think about all this?
Why is people trying to bring the legacy down after death? His music has been pulled. They're talking about Michael Jackson.
Okay. Thank you, Cedric. I see that. Oh, Misha, you don't have any questions? Oh shit. Damn, I guess it was just a real donation.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, so the circumcision, I guess the one thing, now I'm not, maybe I just don't know enough about the Michael Jackson case, but I'm just going to say this. I've seen dicks and I can't identify like dicks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but like circumcised versus uncircumcised, I do think that there's a difference depending on like the length, the girth, the size, like when it gets erect. So a circumcised penis, even an uncircumcised penis, if it's of a certain stature, when it is erect, it's not going to look circumcised. That being said, somebody that's 7 or 8
is not going to know that.
It's like the fact that they identified some things is accurate. You 7 or 8, you don't even know what sex is. So like, I don't think you sitting here like trying to identify every single thing that's on somebody else's body unless you're really like into them or you're not into them.
Yeah.
And somebody 7 or 8, I think that they're learning like what the fuck is this? What is even going on right now? So it would make sense to me that they can misidentify certain parts of his body. That makes a lot of sense to me. But the fact of the matter is that they correctly identified certain parts of his body, and we need to talk about that.
Yeah, I'd be interested in if the children that were exposed to Michael Jackson had any other symptoms of abuse outside of in their life. You know what I mean? Because most often, children, as impressionable as they are, children they automatically display whatever is going on with them. Like they see something, whatever they take in, they put it right back out for the world to see. You know, and so I'm curious to see. I'd be curious to know if those children, if they also started having problems in school, or if they also started having problems, since they're no longer children, really, if they've had challenges in their adult lives. And, we haven't really heard anything about that. There's been nothing else about it. And I'm guessing that's a part of the settlement terms that were reached. There were also gag orders imposed, that type of thing. But that's what I'd be most curious about is like the state of his alleged victims.
So somebody else's, I didn't think they did at all. Are you sure? They said it was spotted and it wasn't. Again, we are critiquing the testimony of young children that are saying that they've been sexually abused, and they correctly identify some parts of his body and incorrectly identify other parts of his body. I don't think them kids was sitting there like, yeah, it's a cheetah dick. Like, I don't, oh my God, today it's cream color. Like, let me go in. Like, it's not like that. I don't. Let's speak. Can we talk about what they got right though? How do you explain what they did get right? How do we explain that?
This asshole R. Kelly meet a lover in jail. I don't think.
I've heard from Unwind with Tasha K that R. Kelly also does boys and grown men. Grown men. He does. He does grown men and little girls, I think.
Well,
all right. Let's ask the cars though about the kids.
I guess that's what he's asking about Michael Jackson and the kids. Well, R. Kelly killed himself to escape in prison. R. Kelly don't have the balls to kill himself.
No, he don't strike me as the type. Guys like that don't kill themselves. Will he die in jail? No, probably not. No. They probably gonna get a nigga like 8 years. I'm serious. It's gonna be something stupid like 8 years. He gonna get probation out from 4.
It's gonna be something where it's just long enough for him to get out and his whole life be changed. Now it's gonna be like OJ getting out. Like it's still OJ, but they're gonna have there'll be little viral videos of him on TMZ, people approaching him in parking decks. You know what I'm saying? And him trying to hide who he got in the passenger seat. Man, get the fuck, y'all still fucking with me.
And then VH1 gonna put him on Love and Hip Hop. R. Kelly gonna be on Love and Hip Hop, y'all. All right, let's get another question. 8 years for child. He's not going. Child porn. You got one?
What do you see about autos? Will R. Kelly survive jail? I like that one.
Will R. Kelly survive jail?
Because I almost feel like even if he got something like 8 years or something, man, pedophiles are not looked upon kindly in prison. You know what I'm saying? Just not. And R. Kelly don't have the persona. He might be a Chicago dude, whatever, man. He don't have a persona of somebody who necessarily won't strike no fear in nobody either. You know what I mean? It's not like Mike Tyson going to prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
yeah. When R. Kelly was sitting down, like he had a young face but a grown man body, so he ain't that man. Like he ain't finna take his shirt off and fight nobody with that big ass belly sitting in his lap. He's not gonna intimidate damn motherfucker. He's gonna be hitting the gym 8 hours a day, okay, trying to get himself to be intimidating. But I do.
It don't help that he cried on national. You know, he's sitting there crying and snotting on national TV.
Oh, he gonna cry in jail.
Yeah,
y'all picking on me, man. Leave me alone. I do think that R. Kelly could. I do think that R. Kelly can pay for protection in jail. Like, will the 14-year-old girl from the video ever speak out?
You think a gag order was imposed on her? Don't touch his kid.
I can see that. A gag order, because that's the only thing.
So they're asking about R. Kelly's kids.
Nothing.
What you think about his kids? He's saying he wants to see his kids, and he can't. What do you think about if his relationship will ever improve with his kids?
That's the reason we should ask?
Yeah, ask that.
All right, well, R. Kelly's relationship.
What's his relationship going to look like with his kids?
Okay, what's R. Kelly's relationship going to look like with his children? White people are so interesting. They are so interesting. The way he's walking is just so interesting. These steps.
Look at
and his running shoes. Like, it's like, what is he like? What be going on in their mind?
It's got to be born as well.
That damn Six of Pentacles came out again in reverse. Oh shit! I ain't making this up, y'all. I'm gonna just pull up the cards. Oh shit! These cards are indicated. R. Kelly sacrificed a relationship with his kids to do magical work. I swear to God, like I'm dead to fuck ass. R. Kelly did some magical work. Part of some magical ritual that he did was like part of it was it was a give and get ritual. Because his greatest spiritual challenge is the devil. Period, point blank. So we're talking about his relationship with his kids. This is going to be a powerful undertaking for him to develop a relationship with them, because they think that he's an addict. They think that he has drug problems. They think that he's oversexed. They think that he abuses children. They don't think that he's financially supportive. They are also a part of the court of public opinion. They get scrutinized and teased by their friends a lot. People are constantly surveilling R. Kelly's children as well. It's like those kids are under constant surveillance. It's too much for them, and they feel like they hate their dad. The other thing is that R. Kelly has other kids too. Like outside of the kids that we know about, he has other children. They're probably like adult girls, and he has a lot of kids. It's not just those kids. What I'm picking up is he's got more than just some kids. Like it's other kids too. Wow. The Six of Pentacles came out in reverse again, and I don't do reverse. I don't read reverse. I read polarity. Fuck y'all. But the fact that it's reverse, I just take that as whatever sign. But I can tell you that that this is about. They don't even want money from him. like their mom wants money, but they don't want his money either. They kind of like really don't want to fuck with him. They're trying to, the kids that we know that he has are trying to figure out a way to get their stories out there about themselves without being attached to their father. They have a desire to be in the public eye. Like they want to be entertainers. Like they want to be more social with people, but I see them trying to isolate themselves at the same time from a lot of people. So it's like, because of all this trauma that they're going through, they don't really want to deal with their dad, because it's like dealing with their dad brings more source. Yeah, it's a source. So it's like, if I got a bad haircut, why would I keep cutting my hair? It's gonna make the haircut worse. They're good. Like when he goes to jail, they're gonna visit him. They're gonna visit him, and he writes to them, but he doesn't. Everything is empty. Like it's very insincere. He doesn't really want to have a relationship with his kids. There's a part of him that doesn't even feel like they're his children. Like he doesn't feel like they're like people. It's like they're like people to him. It's just like they're people that, and he just says that they're his kids. It's like he knows it's like intuitively he feels this responsibility to them, but in his mind he can't link the two. It's like if I say hola, you hear hi. You know. If I'm saying gracias, that's thank you. When he's saying children, it should spark all these other connections. It doesn't do that for him. Yeah. And then my magician card came out as the outcome. So he's gonna have to undo whatever spiritual work that he's been doing. And if he undoes the spiritual work, the consequences of it are the death card, the world, the end of his career. It is really the end of his career. We're talking about nothing. We're talking about, okay, R. Kelly's like performing at the Apache Cafe. Yeah. Or R. Kelly's performing in like a Starbucks cafe if he undoes the spiritual work. And there we have it.
Yeah. There are a couple of things that I know about this, and then we can close down. One of the things, man, when it comes to, and this is just me being a father, when it comes to being able to connect with your kids and the way that you've got to be built to actually give a damn about your kids, R. Kelly just really doesn't strike me as the type with the emotional insight enough, or the emotional empathy enough to build people up in the way that children need you to be present and build them up. And so, I think being a father figure in a perverted sense and being able to kind of penetrate and fuck with someone's mind and be this, huge figure over them is totally different than actually being a father and actually wielding your influence, as a co-creator of them, or not even necessarily creator, but someone, a conduit through which they came. Like, that is a totally different workup. That's a totally different set of abilities. And I don't really know if R. Kelly has that. I mean, his music has all kind of been about one thing. He seems kind of one-dimensional to me. With that being said, music in and of itself and making music is an act of magic, And I think that, it's interesting that card will come up. Because, when it comes to the aura that musicians have, and when it comes to the power that musicians have, certain feelings in people, that in and of itself is a form of magic, And so I think it makes perfect sense that that card would come up, you know, he's conscious of, you know, in a sense of there also being a sense of like he needing to have responsibility and needing to take responsibility for it. So yeah, man, you know, I feel for his kids, and I agree. At the point at which he kind of undoes his musical magic, I mean, his ability to do magic, it will be the end of his career. Cause shit, that's all he got, and he didn't gave it to y'all for 30 years.
Dark skin, light skin. I love older women and younger women. Nigga, that was a good one. I like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, so there you have it, y'all. So yeah, R. Kelly has but I've said this before. Though, that R. Kelly has a root worker. It's a spiritual worker that he goes to, and that worker has helped him get off on cases. But you know something, and those stories have been corroborated by Unwind with Tasha K. I know that because she collects all the information on R. Kelly. Those women that accuse him of stuff, they said, you know, some of those girls have said like R. Kelly would collect their urine and then send the urine to a voodoo priestess in Jamaica. I don't know if voodoo priestesses in Jamaica, but no, like seriously. And also, some of the things that you will hear those girls say, the girls will say like, you know, I walked into a room and R. Kelly, you know, it was nothing but mirrors in it, even mirrors at the top. It's sex magic. That's what mirrors are for. R. Kelly's into that type of stuff. But no, like look it up. Like look up some of the accusers' testimonies that R. Kelly practices black magic. So I did a reading and I saw it in there. I was like, R. Kelly has a spiritual worker because I can feel some energy on him, like, and it's that grimy ass hoodoo. It's grimy hoodoo, like real grimy, like that. He is that type of magic that you get. He goes to them people. They don't give a fuck. They just give you a price, okay? They don't give a fuck. They don't consult the spirits. They don't ask you anything. They don't care about ethics and morality. They like, bitch, give me $2,000, and then the next thing you know, 8 goats is slaughtered in their backyard, and blood is all over their face, and R. Kelly's off. All right, so so yeah, but no, once he starts trying to work on a relationship with his children, everything else comes crashing down, which is why R. Kelly doesn't do the right thing. Honestly, but that's anybody in life. Once you start doing the right thing, because you can no longer manicure the wrong thing, right? It's going to be destroyed. You can't. Two things can't occupy the same space at one time. Right. All right, y'all. That's been the end of our show, and we'll be back next week with more of Tell It Like It Is. We hope you all enjoyed this. Misha Hardiman, thank you for the donation. And thank you all for participating. We had 125 people online. I think every week it's been doubling since we've been back on here. So next week we're going to get 200 people. Y'all going to see more videos from me in the month of March. Make sure that y'all check out the Patreon. There are going to be more sophisticated Sunday videos coming. There's a lot more preaching coming this month. Around the 15th of March is when shit is really just going to be kicking off with Black Spectrum Network. I got a lot of stuff planned out. I've been trying to lay low, but it's all up in the pipeline. I've been trying to prepare my content ahead of time. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Glad to be back. Went on a hiatus for a little bit. Had to leave town, but, you know, came back. I hadn't missed a beat. And love y'all.
See ya.